What is the best country in the world?
What is the what?
What is the best country in the world?
Mexico, definitely for sure Mexico.
Mexico?
Mexico.
So why do you think these people don't want to go back?
I think it's because we sacrifice a lot to be here, and we all want people to come in the right way as well, but things are better over here in America, and they're gonna try their best to be here.
But you just said Mexico is the best country in the world.
It is, but I think that
I love the hypocrisy, okay? It never makes sense to me that a country you don't deem as the best, right, you want to immigrate to, okay? A country that doesn't give you the opportunity, because this is, people always say, right, my country of origin is the best country ever. I wave their flags and stuff, but you know what? We're only here because America gives opportunities. So the country you deem as the best country in the world, that you love, that you're proud of, that you wave their effing flags with, from, it doesn't give you opportunities, yet you deem that as better than the country that gives you the opportunity. The sheer stupidity in that. This is the thing where I've always said this. American born, I love America, right? Even if I'm Asian, even if I'm Vietnamese, it's America first. I love America. Because America has given me the life that I have. It's given me the opportunities that I have. No other country has. So I don't have loyalty, love, or respect for any country that didn't give me the life that I'm living, okay? So why? I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not proud to be, Vietnamese or, whatnot, but that proudness comes secondary to being a proud American. Because America is the best country in the world. Whether, statistics, studies or not, it's the best country in the world to me. Because it's given me the opportunities that I have. Okay? It's given me the life that I have. And I respect it and I love it. The sheer stupidity in that. Mexico is the best, but you know what? I wouldn't want to live there. I wouldn't want to stay there. I wouldn't want to immigrate back to there. No. I'd rather be in America. That's giving me the life that it's given me. It's giving me the freedoms that it's given me. And it's going to give me the future that hopefully I can get. Not Mexico. I mean, these people who love the country so bad doesn't want to go back to the country and improve that country, right? Make that country better. No, they don't give a shit about that country. That's why they left. That country didn't give a shit about you, and you don't give a shit about that country. That's why you left. Okay? It would have made more sense if you loved that country so much. Mexico is so amazing. You would have stayed there, tried your best to make it better, try your best to improve that country, to be a lawful citizen, to be a good citizen of that country, to enjoy the life that that country gives you. But you don't want the life that that country gives you. The sheer delusion and hypocrisy. This is why I've always find it disgusting that people burn the American flag, wave the flags of other countries, call so many other countries better than America, yet none of them would leave America for said countries. Hell, the people who left America goes to another predominantly white country. And you think that, what? Because that country's liberal, it's supposedly something better? No. Where do they go to? Nordic countries, predominantly white. Even if it's liberal, okay? Canada, predominantly white. All these other countries are predominantly white, and you think it's better because the leadership is liberal. Absolutely stupid. I want to talk about something, right? I mean, last couple days, weeks, whatever, a lot of people talk about stolen land shit. Now, I want to say this, right? Off the bat, it's not stolen. It's won, right? Some of the land is bought, most of the land has been won, right? We won it. Battles. It's just the way it is. During that time, okay, it's battles, right? Conquering. That was the way of the world, right? During those times, that's just how it was. Even Native Americans, okay, they cannot counteract that. Even they, okay, conquered other lands of other Native Americans. That's 100% fact, okay? Even they did it. The Mexicans did it. It just so happens that, the British, the English, white Christians, they did it good enough to conquer all of America, right? That's just how it is. So it's not stolen land, it's won. There are also parts of the land where, it was traded for, it was bought. It's just also how it is, okay? So as terrible as it is, that's how it is. And being indigenous, it's sad, but almost every nation, they have an ugly history. They've conquered the land from indigenous people, right? It's just the way it is, right? If you weren't the first to settle it, you were the last to conquer it. So I don't know what you want, right? If you say stolen land, what do you want to do? You're going to fight for it? I mean, fight for it. Or buy it. Buy the land. Is either you fight for it, you buy it. Giving it back is idiotic. What person on this earth, right? On this earth is going to sell their home, or give their home to the indigenous people? No one. Not a single person. So stop with that BS. Stop with that absolute BS. It's stupid. Not a single person, right? Not a single person on this earth is going to give away their land to anyone that is deemed indigenous of that land. So stupid. Right? What do you expect? Right? The countries to do? What's Billie Eilish going to do? Give away her land? She's not. So she's stupid. And anyone says that about stolen land shit, they're stupid as well. Right? They're low IQ, and they don't know how the world works. So yeah. Oh, so now you care about who's in the country. Now you want to kick people out of the country. Oh, so ICE, you want to kick out of the country. Yet when we're kicking out illegal immigrants, that's a no. Hypocrisy much? This is why these kids need to stay in school. Because they don't realize that because they're so stupid, they don't realize the hypocrisy. So it was an outrage, right? Deporting, kicking out illegal immigrants. Yet it's okay, it's logical, you want to kick out ICE from the country. So the only difference is that if you're in power, you choose who you kick out, right? This is why our education is failing, okay? Instead of kids staying in school and actually learning, no, they want to protest. This is the thing, and fake protests. These kids don't give a shit about politics. They don't give a shit about what's happening in our country. They don't. When does these kids ever, like, volunteer, even give back to the country, even care about what's happening in our country, right? Or do these kids even talk about politics? Do these kids even talk about what's going on in our country? No. They want to jump on the bandwagon. They think it's cool. It's politically cool. No, leftist cool shit. You know, I want to support illegal immigrants, but you never cared about illegal immigrants before. How come kids didn't care about Obama? Biden was just it was last year. It was just last year. You didn't care. These kids would have been pretty much around the same age. They didn't care about Biden kicking out illegal immigrants, deporting millions more than Trump. They didn't care. It's a hypocrisy and stupidity. I kind of blame kids, but not totally. I blame the teachers and the parents. Right? They don't bother educating children. They're just letting the next generation be stupid. They're just trying to indoctrinate the next generation. Disgusting. Absolute disgusting.
Good. How are you? Are you the shop owner?
Yes.
I have some terrible news. It looks like your certificate for the shop, it's actually expired.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it expired, and we're gonna need $500 today to make sure that you can still have the shop going.
Who are you?
I'm Javante. I'm with the Illinois State Licensing Board.
Oh, can I have your ID?
Excuse me, bigot? Did you just ask a black man for his ID?
You're not black.
I was assigned white skin pigmentation at birth by my parents' bigoted doctor, but I identify as African American. You can't ask me for my ID, that's racist.
No, I'm not racist.
Those are your signs out there, aren't they? It says ID is racist.
That is different.
How is it different?
It's different because.
Because how? Did you ask me for my ID so you know who I am?
Who are you? You need a license.
So you're asking me so you know who I am, right?
Yes.
Because an ID makes you feel more comfortable knowing I am who I say I am?
Yeah, because I have to know who are you.
Isn't that what they're doing at the voting booth?
Yes.
Exactly. So how are IDs racist at the voting booth? You don't have an answer, do you? You just put up those signs just to put them up. You did?
Yes.
Good luck with that, buddy.
You know, I'm tired of this level of dishonesty, the disingenuousness of the left. Okay, because these are such idiotic arguments. So, am I wrong by this, ex-content creator? Imagine hating immigrants more than pedos. I will say this. Who's saying they're hating anyone more than the other? Who's saying that? Plus, you could see the level of consequences are different. Okay, immigrants are not being, you know, jailed for years on end. Pedos are, right? And I'm pretty sure people would love to, you know, delete these people. Okay, so I don't know where's the basis for this thing, but here's my thing that I think is extremely important, and it shows the dishonesty, the disingenuous of the left. Who's hating on immigrants? Who? They can't distinguish between illegal immigration with legal immigration. I've seen countless videos of immigrants getting their citizenship, and hundreds of comments saying, yes, this is how you should do it. Yes, I support this. Da, 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 da. No one's saying, I hate you, leave. No, you are now a citizen. You went through the process legally, okay? You put the effort in. You're a citizen. People support that. I have yet to see anyone say, no, we should take back your citizenship. You need to leave, even if you went through the legal way. I've yet to see that. This is the problem with stupid women, with people like this, the left, the Democrats. No one is complaining about immigrants. They're complaining about their legal status. They're complaining about these are criminals already. They came here, okay, in a dishonest way. So it's highly unlikely that they themselves are 100% good people. Now, I'm not saying all of them are bad people, even if they came here illegally. But again, you start your foot on the bad. You start the process on a bad foot, right? You started on a bad foot. Okay, you came here illegally already. It's dishonest. So things like this is the problem. Okay, no one has a problem with immigrants. People are not saying that they hate immigrants more than pedos, which is stupid. This right here is trying to it's fear mongering. Is it fear mongering, or it's just a dishonest way where you're trying to put pedos in the same sentence as immigrants? Okay, because you know that of course this is the worst. But whenever anyone talks about immigration, who the hell's talking about pedos, right? Or when they talk about the bad immigrants, right, the illegal immigrants, they do the shit. So does she care about that? Do women like this care about that? How illegal immigrants have killed, have abused, have done these kind of acts? No, she don't. She don't care. She don't care. She just want to push her stupid ideology. Just make it right. That's the stupidity. This is why the left is a bunch of idiots. Okay? There's no logic in it. It's just as long as it fits their ideology, that's all they care. That is all they care. You know, I think one of the stupidest things, right? One of the stupidest things the left pushes, and probably one of the things why I think a lot of Americans just can't stand the left, is this whole trans movement. Okay, a New York jury just awarded $2 million to a woman pushed into a double mastectomy at 16. Doctors use deletion scare tactics to overrule her mother's objections. She later detransitioned and sued. 4 days after the verdict, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons reversed course and came out against surgeries for minors. This is the absolute insanity, all right? How much the left cares, feminists cares about the trans thing, particularly like trans right for our human rights. What human rights it is to transition, to change your gender at a young age? How's that human rights? It's not your human right to change your gender. That's not a human right. Absolutely ridiculous, particularly for minors. Because if you think this is, I always find this like the logic is so inconsistent. So if it is your right to, as a minor, to change your sex, you practically have right to do anything as a minor. Sex with adults, drugs, alcohol. You pretty much have rights to anything. If you can do such an extreme thing as changing your gender, right? Then you have a right to do anything as a minor. That's the insanity. That's the craziness of these leftists. And this is the thing where you pretty much see white people, white liberals. This is, I've said this countless before. I think white liberals are the worst thing to happen to the earth, to happen particularly to America. White liberals are the worst things. They are destroying our country. They care about such insane things. They care about, to be honest, debauchery, degeneracy, delusion, hypocrisy, just stupidity. This is, it's like, this is why I can't stand the left. I'm sorry. The trans movement is one of the worst things about the left that I really hate, and I can't stand them for that. You know, I thought it was funny. A lot of times I see when liberals comment on anything, with against the right or Republicans, they always call them, bootlickers, licking Trump's, feet or whatever. But in my opinion, or just something I've seen, or something I've also never seen, please show me a picture, right? Please show me a video or a picture. I've never seen an actual someone on the right, a Republican or whatever, lick anybody's boot, right? I've never seen it, okay? I've yet to see any Republican, anyone on the right, lick Donald Trump's boot, lick anybody's boot. But, I have seen a liberal woman lick someone's feet. I have seen someone on the left lick someone's feet. No self-respect whatsoever. No dignity. You would get on the floor and literally lick someone else's feet, i.e. a bootlicker. So the whole thing when people constantly throw around the term, you're a bootlicker, right? Against the right or anyone that, to be honest, politically, anyone that's against you, the right, Republicans, constantly, you lick Donald Trump's boots, his ass or whatever. I've never seen anyone on the right do that. I have seen, there's a video of this, right? I have seen someone on the left lick someone else's boots or feet or shoes, whatever, right? So, to be honest, saying a whole lot of shit means nothing because I prefer actions, right? Okay? I prefer solid proof. That's the difference between the right and the left. The right's more logical. They have shit that backs what they're saying. The left, they're just talking because they're emotional.
So now these 6 bucks are outing themselves as animal abusers. This cute cutie, that's the actual technical name, I just made it up, I don't know, but he's a cute cutie. Well, he was placed in a boarding shelter while his dad, who's an ICE agent, went to Minneapolis, and one of the employees at said shelter wrote "ICE out" on their feeding jar, stating that these dogs who were at their facility, who were owned by ICE agents, should not be fed during their stay there, which is actual animal abuse. It's one thing to go after people, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, but to go after people is one thing, to go after animals is something completely fucking different. Especially for people who claim that empathy means more than anything else. Animals, especially dogs, are one of the least harmful beings in existence. That dog's entire livelihood depends on that person. Without that person feeding them, it's going to die. And these crazy liberals are so fucked up that they're willing to let an animal die, specifically because their owner is employed by ICE. You guys are fucked up. You are taking it to such an evil level that most people could never even comprehend. It's the people who cry Nazism to everybody else who tend to be the biggest Nazis. You cannot convince me that liberals are not Nazis. You cannot convince me that liberals are not fascists. There is something so wrong with all of you, and I'm so glad that Donald Trump is reopening mental asylums. The people who did that to that dog need to be the first one lined up to be locked up, and I hope they get charged with animal.
I'll say this: I didn't confirm that story or not, right? So, up to you whether you want to go confirm it or not. If it's true, I'm gonna base it my, my views on if it's true. But this is the thing: I did some of the other videos of showing that the left doesn't mind to be racist, calling black men the N-word, right? The left doesn't mind to be sexist, beating on, right, female reporters or whoever they dislike. I have videos, both videos on both of those incidents. So I wouldn't be surprised that this is true. Right? I wouldn't be surprised. This is the thing, like you said, the people who scream out, you're racist, you're sexist, you're not all this stuff, are usually the ones that would be sexist, racist, and so on and so on, right? Usually, right? They're not good people. They're not. And I have made plenty of videos showing that the left, not all, but the ones that are protesting, the ones that are vocally loud, are really horrible human beings. And I agree with her at the end that I'm glad that mental institutions are reopening because, I'm sorry, there's a lot of mentally disturbed people on the left, a lot. So, hopefully they be institutionalized. But it's just, this is a thing where I can't believe any sane person, any logical person would stay as a Democrat, would stay on the left. I just can't. I was once a Democrat until I start seeing the insanity, and now I'm seeing full-blown craziness.
Remember, this is the side that preaches to us about love, tolerance, and acceptance. Yet this woman is out here calling federal agents niggers. This is the second time in a couple of days that we've seen white people calling federal agents niggers out in Minnesota. These are white liberals on the left. And for whatever reason, they think it's okay to call people the N-word all of a sudden. And what's even more interesting is the silence from the left overall. So white liberals love black people until they work for ICE or, they're on the right. Then they think it's okay to call black people the N-word, or just people in general, call them a nigger. Crazy work. This is the left.
You know what? He says silence on the left. What I'm also thinking about is silence from black people. Black people, the black community, predominantly, I think 80% or more, vote Democrat. Black people, on average, are more on the left than they're on the right. Yet silence. The community constantly says that, white people are the devil, or, white supremacy, and then blame that white supremacy on the right, on the left, on Democrat, on Republicans. Yet they're quiet when their own parties show how racist they are. And I've done, like what you said, right? Like how I did another video of more white people saying the N-word. I also did a video of white people, the left, attacking a woman, right? This is the party that says that they're not racist. They're not sexist. I have proof otherwise. Video proof. The amazingness of social media. You can see the hypocrisy in real time. And yet, if this was the right, they would condemn them. They have no problem constantly condemning Trump, saying he's a racist, saying he's sexist. Right? No problem condemning Trump. But crickets when it's their own party, right? You won't hear nothing from any of the bigger people or people in general, right? People in general of their group. You don't hear no one calling that out, condemning that, saying no, that's not it. Because they know that they can't condemn their own party. They can't. Because they don't want their own party to turn against them. It's disgusting. The hypocrisy. Also, this is a thing where it's funny that they are trying to help minorities while insulting minorities. Funny. And this is the thing, I did another video saying, you're next. What means you're next? What does it mean? I get constantly said, you will be deported. Where would I be deported to? New Jersey? Where would I be deported? Where are U.S. citizens being deported to? Where? How are black people next? How? Please tell me. None of them really say how black people are next, how minorities, U.S. citizens that are minorities, will be next. How? Where would the U.S. deport U.S. citizens to? Crickets. You don't hear no one ever explain it, ever clarify what they mean. It's just scare tactics. It's fear-mongering.
So this U.S. citizen was wrongfully detained by ICE for over 3.5 years, but not many people have heard about it because it happened under the Obama administration. Now you might say, well, that's just one mistake, and ICE is making a lot more mistakes today. Haven't you seen the news? And to that I would say, let's just look at the data. Here's a quality report for ICE, starting with the final 2 years of the Obama administration, where this data first became available. Comes from ICE and DHS records, by the way. Only a 0.0225% error rate, meaning out of nearly 240,000 arrests, only 54 U.S. citizens were mistakenly detained. And a pretty clean report, given how messy this job is. You have to give the progressive president some props here. Let's compare it, though, against Trump. And for the year of 2025, where ICE has received so much scrutiny and the left has created so much chaos, his quality report's actually cleaner. It's better. A 0.0067% error rate, meaning Obama's error rate was actually more than three times higher. When we're confronted with data like this, it should make us question the narrative. Could we be in a propaganda war? Much like with COVID, much like with BLM in 2020, where the prevailing narrative was that cops were going around unaliving people based on the color of their skin. Could we be in a propaganda war? By the way, Josh Howerton has done some great work exposing some of the viral ICE abuse examples and debunking them. None of this means that ICE can do no wrong, or that we shouldn't try to keep improving our approach and minimizing mistakes as much as we can, or that we should ever blindly support any administration. But the more you look objectively, the more you realize that the left's narrative is actually manipulating good-hearted people into supporting their agenda. And that agenda is ultimately an anti-enforcement, open borders agenda that sounds loving, but actually destroys nations and harms millions of people. A great way to love your neighbor is to not fall for it.
Leftist men beating up a woman.
Where are the women's rights? rights activist tonight. So Billie Eilish, what's she doing? Do those people, by the way, sing puncher, screaming, pushing her, do they seem open to dialogue? Now, that was in LA. We asked police what happened and what led to the attack, but we haven't heard back. In Minneapolis earlier today, the temps were frigid, but things got very hot and very dangerous when the Daily Caller News Foundation's Jorge Ventura tried to report what he was seeing.
He said that these cars actually look like ice, and they're actually falling up. So are you seeing this rooftop? Hey, how you doing? You're right next to me. I can film you, buddy. It's a public sidewalk. Why did you try to steal my phone right now?
Now stop attacking a minority. Ooh, look at that. This is the party of peace, right? The party of love. The party of that's not racist, that's not sexist. In one video, I literally showed you, right? Leftist men, Democrat men, progressive, whatever, attacking a woman, sexist. Attacking a minority, racist. I guarantee you, if it was flipped and it was the right doing it, they would be called sexist and racist. I guarantee you. I've said this before, right? I don't claim that the right is any better than the left, okay? But what I do say is that, at least in my opinion, if you deal with the right, and if they stab you, they'll stab you face to face, right? They'll face to face with you, right? You want to have a disagreement, be face to face. The left, they were like, oh, my brother, they'll hug you. They were like, oh, it's like, oh, I love you, I'm here for you, I'll fight for you. Stab you in the back. Hugging you, stab you in the back. They're fake, right? The left, like they bring some kind of moral high ground, like they're something better, like they think that they're morally sound, but they're not. They're disgusting. They are, and that's what I'm talking about, right? I can't stand the hypocrisy. I can't stand the fakeness. I can't stand the two-faced people, right? Which the left so commonly are. You never cared about illegal immigrants under Biden and Obama. You never cared. You never cared about your neighbor. You never cared about your neighbor under a Democratic rule. You never cared. Oh, but now Trump. Oh, Trump who's deporting less than either Biden or Obama. But now you care. Now you care about your neighbors. Now you're so scared. You're so scared, right? You never cared about before. It's the hypocrisy. It's the hypocrisy. You say like, oh, Trump is doing it differently. Trump is doing it differently. No. These cities are doing it differently, right? These states are doing it differently. They're making it difficult, right? Back when Obama did it, Biden did it. They like, here you go, right? We'll help you. We'll make it peaceful. We won't advertise this. We won't put it on media, right? You don't see nothing. You see no talk about the Gestapos, the Nazi fascism. You don't hear nothing from CNN talking about illegal immigration. The high levels of deportation under Obama and Biden. You don't hear nothing from CNN, MSN, whatever, all these leftist media outlets. You don't hear nothing. That's why you don't see the opposition. You don't see people fighting against it because they didn't know or they didn't care. Now you see it reported all the time, calling ICE, Gestapos, fascists, Nazis, all that shit. So that's why you see the craziness in the streets, the hypocrisy and two-facedness.
Shot in the stomach, everybody, and she's pregnant, and she's pregnant, she's losing her baby.
Well, you're the side that says that's not a baby until it's born, right? Until it's viable outside the womb. So this is the thing. Jokes aside, I don't hope that something bad has happened to her baby. I don't. But this is the problem. You don't even care about your child. You thought it was a good idea to go protest, and this is a thing where I'm doubtful that if you are peacefully protesting, okay, or you are part of a peaceful protest, officers are just shooting rubber bullets just for the hell of it. Now, I'm not saying that that's always the case. Of course, cops can be reckless. I don't disagree with that, but I would say balance of probability. The majority of the time it's not, cops are just shooting rubber bullets just for the hell of it. It's usually not peaceful. It usually turns physical or confrontational. And then when you're a part of these physical confrontational protests, well, you do stupid things, you get stupid results. The sheer stupidity of you pregnant and going to a protest. I see mothers bringing their kids to protests. I don't wish something bad onto a kid, but you bringing politics into your children's lives is stupid. You putting your kids in potential danger is stupid. Those things are not safe. They're not as peaceful as the left touts it to be. It's not. Balance of probability, it turns physical a lot of times because the left is not as peaceful as they claim to be. They're not. They're just as violent. They're just as destructive. So I think it's just absolutely irresponsible of these women to bring their kids, to bring their kids to these protests, to be pregnant and go into these protests. So I have no sympathy, right? I don't wish something bad on the innocent beings, right? But I have no sympathy. I don't, right? Because honestly, stupid parents will only bring danger to their kids.
Yesterday, here in Minneapolis, a crowd of violent agitators tackled an ICE special agent when one of our special response teams went to assist. The protester literally bit off part of that agent's finger. The officer received immediate medical attention on the scene and was transported to the emergency room for treatment. We do want to thank the people at the hospital for the assistance and the staff who treated our officer. The officer is recovering, but is now permanently maimed and has lost part of his finger. I don't think I have to tell you that this kind of violence is unacceptable. But I also don't think I need to tell you that this kind of violence is not a coincidence. When sanctuary politicians, activists, and the media work hard to create chaos and fear instead of using their platforms to reassure their communities, this is the result. The reality is, and this is what Commander Bovino and I have been talking about all week, we're out here to arrest dangerous criminal illegal aliens so they can't victimize innocent people in our communities anymore.
Look, whether you agree or disagree or whatever, it doesn't matter, right? I'm not talking about that. But this is the thing why you can't understand 2 + 2, right, equals 4. What I say that is that you have to understand why if something bad happens, right, an ICE agent shoots or kills an activist, a protester, you can't be surprised because this is the environment, right? Protesters, activists are putting ICE in, putting federal agents in. They're not going to take a chance with them, right? They're not going to take a chance with protesters. This is the issue, okay? You don't. It's not peaceful protesting. You're not peacefully protesting, okay? You're showing violence. You're showing anger. You're showing agitation. You are not being peaceful, okay? You are being physical. So you can't be surprised that ICE federal agents will not take a chance with nobody. They're not going to take a chance with you. Literally, these protesters are effing around, and they're gonna effing find out. Okay, because you're not creating an environment where you're peacefully protesting. You are physically interfering. You are being, you're harming agents. You're harming people. So they're not gonna take, they're not gonna let you take their life in their hands, right? In your hands. They're not gonna BS with you. Okay, so this is why I have no sympathy. I'm sorry, I have no sympathy for these stupid ass activists and protesters. Okay, because you are literally putting yourself into these situations that may end your life. So, F it. You want to end your life because of illegal immigrants? Hey, it's kind of funny that it's the left that constantly said, oh, we're overpopulated. Well, less of you wouldn't be a bad thing.
We are literally creating a place that we know who's coming and going in and out of our neighborhoods.
A makeshift roadblock turned this intersection into a roundabout. Cars slowed as drivers noticed, some honked, others asked questions, and one man brought food for the people standing watch.
It's kind of inspiring. It's like, wow, okay. We've got folks out there who are kind of taking care of us, looking out for us.
But Minneapolis police stepped in, clearing the roadblock and restoring flow of traffic. Still, residents say the roadblock was necessary.
We need to keep our neighbors safe, so we will be doing this again.
Is that not Trump's idea? Is that not pretty much the wall? Is that not pretty much ICE? Are they not pretty much being ICE themselves? Knowing the identities of the people who are in their neighborhood. If the Democrats and the liberals did this beforehand, we wouldn't have had these illegal immigrants hurting the people that they hurted, right? If you knew the people that were in your neighborhoods. It's like the cognitive dissonance, right? The hypocrisy, the ability to not understand the hypocrisy is like, to not see the hypocrisy is next level. How are you any better than ICE? How are you any better than ICE? Checking IDs. Okay? You're checking IDs, you're detaining people so you can check IDs. A lot of them are wearing masks. Right? Not showing their face. And you know what's worse is that, one, you have no power to do any of that stuff. Okay? You have no power to do any of that stuff. It's unlawful detainment. Right? You have no right to check IDs of anybody. It's like, but whatever, right? But this is why I've said this, right? This is why I left the Democrat, right? Left the left. It's the insane hypocrisy. It's the lack, it's a lack of critical thinking. It's a lack of seeing how you are no better than the people you complain about. Right? I've said this countless times before. Right? I'm not saying Republicans or the right are better than anyone, but at the very least, I feel, personal opinion, that if anything, they'll stab you to your face. Democrats, the left, they stab you in the back. They like, oh my God, they fake friendliness, they fake all this shit. But once you don't fall in line, right in the back. It's absolutely next level, and then not being able to see it, not being able to see that is insane. Right? They're checking IDs of people. They're blocking. It's like they're creating a wall, right? A wall, a symbolic wall, so they can check who comes and goes. Yeah.
Here in South Minneapolis, we just actually spoke to some of the individuals that you want to just check out here, wearing the kind of black block covering their faces. They have this kind of blockade here where they're stopping some vehicles. Actually, Eric, if you could point down there, they're actually stopping this vehicle and they check the out-of-state plates just to see if they're ICE. And what's interesting is just moments ago, down there, we have an Uber driver. He's from Somalia. He's clearly not ICE. And they said that in their database that vehicle was popping up as an ICE vehicle. So we were questioning them about this database that they're using. Obviously, there's some type of network or communication. According to them, local law enforcement hasn't even came in and stopped. So Eric, just kind of shoot some of this and check it out. They're on the phones. I guess they were checking the license plate. We heard in their walkie-talkie that the license plate that they ran is not ICE, but you can see they're on their walkie-talkies kind of talking. We want to find out a little bit more about the database, but they don't want to answer our questions. So this is the situation right now here in South Minneapolis. It's called like a blockade. Hey, how you doing? Just talk to me a little bit about this database, because we just ran our Somali Uber driver's license plate. I mean, you guys did run his license plate without his permission. Just talking about the database a little bit, you know? So, this is the scene right now in South Minneapolis, 32nd Street here on Cedar Avenue. You can't assault me, dude.
Get in the fucking car.
You can't.
Get in the fucking car, man.
Go away. So they're assaulting me and my photojournalist. Got it all on video. They actually tried to steal my phone, but unsuccessful. And you're gonna get blasted all over the internet, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
You said his license plates are ICE?
Yeah. I was just saying, it looks like in our system, your plates came up as an ICE plate. That doesn't seem like it's the case, but I just wanted to come through and see what was up and talk to you, see how you were doing. Okay, I figured, yeah.
I mean, he's clearly Somali.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, glad to hear it. What's your name? Ali?
How long have you guys been out here today? Are we good though?
Yeah.
I do want to ask, what's the system you guys are using out here? I mean, because it's obvious that was wrong, right? I mean, the guy was just a Somali Uber driver, not
well,
ICE.
the thing is, ICE, they're renting a lot of cars. But yeah, we'll take this off the list. Yeah. Who you out with?
We're honestly just from California. Just independent photojournalists. Name's
Okay, you don't have like a Twitter or something?
Jorge Ventura.
Jorge
Ventura.
All right, cool. Thank you.
How long has this been set up, man? Like, the images of this are going viral online. That's what we came. I don't know if you know if they're going viral. But.
Yeah, no, I heard that. People are people saying that, and a lot of the neighbors support what we're doing. So happy to be here.
Has local law enforcement said anything?
Not that we know of, no. But look, I gotta get back to this. I'm not trying to do.
The inability to not see the hypocrisy in it. You're masked up, checking identities of people. You're masked up, checking the identity of people, if they belong or not, who they are. Asking names, getting identities, having a system of people. It's like, seriously? Literally having a blockade and checking the identity of everyone that passes through. It's like, are you kidding me? I'm amazed by such low IQ of all these people, where you can't see that you are exactly the people you claim to hate. You're doing exactly the things that you claim to be against. IDs, right? And identification people, and masking yourself up. Like, you don't want to show your identity to nobody for whatever reason you have. Yeah. This is why I can't stand the left. I can't stand Democrats. They don't realize that they are the very people they claim to hate. They're no different, they're no better. Okay? But to be honest, they're worse because they're doing things unlawfully. You have no right as average citizens to detain nobody, to call for IDs of anybody. Right? Like, ridiculous.
Now, aside from him likely asking a man if he's a man, did you hear what was said? It was much more prominent the second time, but let's go back and take a listen. He called him a house nigger. Hard R. So there's a black man that's working for ICE, and you don't like what he's doing or something he said, so you call him a nigger. This is a leftist. I thought the left loves black people. They're all about black people. Unless that black person does something they don't like or isn't on their side of the aisle politically. Now it's okay to call a black man the N-word. He called that man the N-word multiple times. And I bet we won't see the left try to come out en masse and cancel this man for calling a black man the N-word. But the left wanted to cancel everybody and their mama if they sing the song and say nigga during a song.
And this is the hypocrisy of the left. This is why I left. This is why I left the left. I left being a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat because of the hypocrisy. I've said this before. I'm not saying Republicans are any better, but I'm saying at least if they're going to stab you, they'll stab you to your face. Democrats, the left, they will stab you from behind. They will stab you in the back. Right? They don't mind. The left doesn't mind being racist against you if you don't fall in line. The left doesn't mind to be sexist against you if you don't fall in line. The left doesn't mind using their white supremacy, right, against you if you don't fall in line. The left doesn't mind to be fascist, be dictatorship, control your speech if you don't fall in line, right? The right doesn't mind shooting you with a gun if you don't fall in line. And again, the right could be racist, sexist, all that stuff, but they do it to your face. They're not trying to fringe some moral high ground like they're better than you, or like they aren't, sinful, or whatever. Okay, but it's the left, it's Democrats to say that, oh, I'm not racist, right? We're fighting against racism. We fight against sexism. We fight against fascism. But you see so many examples of people on the left who are just as racist, just as sexist, just as whatever as the people they claim to hate, like they claim to fight against. That's the hypocrisy I just can't stand. Okay? Like I said, I'd rather you be a man or whatever, right? Stab me face to face. Instead of, hug me, say all these nice things and then stab me in the back.
Check this out. We're outside of Papacino's coffee shop. It's one of the oldest coffee shops in Portland, and this is the sign in the window. Notice his shirt says "Violent Way." This is what Portland has devolved into.
I thought that was interesting. Does that not look like a skinhead to you? Does that not? For the group that constantly talks about Nazis and fascists, you draw a character that looks like a skinhead. I don't know. I think that's kind of weird. You draw one that's tattooed up, bald-headed, white shirt, looks like, I don't know, what is it? It kind of looks like Edward Norton from, the American History X. So it's like, I don't understand. Why would you, it's like, I don't understand the lack of critical thinking, the lack of awareness. You call the other group fascists, Nazis. You draw a member of your group to represent your group looking like a Nazi, looking like a neo-Nazi. It just blows my mind. I was scrolling through Facebook, and I saw this post, right? A little bit about I didn't dig in deep, right? It's the Bad Bunny football halftime show. I didn't really watch it, so I don't really care. Okay, I didn't really care. But millions tuned into the Turning Point USA halftime show instead of Bad Bunny's performance. Now, I didn't even watch that either, so I don't really care. So I don't have a whole lot of skin in the game, right? So I'm gonna say that. But I want to talk about this comment. Bad Bunny was a vibe. If you didn't watch it, you're afraid of culture. Okay. You didn't know a word. I didn't know a word he said, but it was awesome. I love a nod to Puerto Rico in bringing all countries together instead of dividing. Okay. This is the insanity I kind of think. So, and this is typical of the leftist mindset. Bringing all countries together. Why? It's a American football halftime show. Why would you need to bring all countries together? Instead of focusing on bringing all Americans together, right? You want to care about other countries. This is the typical leftist mindset. They care about everything else besides Americans themselves. They care about everyone else: Palestine, Ukraine, illegal immigrants from other countries, besides natural-born, true American citizens. They don't care. They don't care about American citizens, but they care about all other countries. Bring all countries together. What are you talking about? Bring all other countries together. First of all, Puerto Rico is a territory of the U.S. Plus, to be honest, I'm gonna be brutally honest. Not to Puerto Rico means what? I say this, right? Being a territory of the U.S. If you're not, if your primary language isn't English, I don't really view you all that much of an American. Now, it's a territory of the U.S., but still, you're not a state of the U.S. I don't care about Puerto Ricos. I don't care about these people are not assimilated. Their primary language isn't English. So this is the thing where I don't care about bringing Puerto Ricans together. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying Puerto Ricans are, they are U.S. citizens, but still, okay, when you want to rep a Puerto Rican flag instead of an American flag, when you care about Puerto Rico more than you care about America, I view you as less of American, period. When your primary language is Spanish, not English, I view you as less American. Plain and simple. I don't care about bringing all countries together. I don't care about a nod to Puerto Rico. I care about a nod to America. I care about bringing all Americans together. I care about America. America first. This is the BS we're talking about, and this is why a lot of people on the right, view people on the left as less American. They don't have the American spirit. They don't care about America.
When this is all over and Trump is gone and Democrats are back in charge and we're rebuilding everything, the punishment for MAGA for voting Trump 3 times needs to be that they lose their internet access for 4 years. That they cannot post videos or comments on social media for 4 straight years so that none of us are subjected to their lies and misinformation while we are rebuilding the chaos that they caused. The whole world and America gets to be without their BS online for 4 straight years. Can we all agree to this?
Please tell me, how is that not fascism? Right? Now, we constantly talk about, Trump is a fascist, right? The misuse of power. How is that not it? How is that not it? She's trying to run for government. She's not just some, content creator spouting bullshit. She's running for government. So how is that not fascism when you want to run for government, use your power to silence your opposition, silence dissent, silence people who don't agree with you? How is that not a dictatorship, right? Silence people who disagree with you. How is that not? Because this is the hypocrisy. This is why I said this countless times before. I was a Democrat until I saw the light, until I saw the hypocrisy, the delusion. What it comes with being a Democrat, you have to delude yourself. You have to fringe ignorance. You have to believe that the other people are villains while you're some kind of hero. Even though you are just as villainous as the people you call out. You are no better. Okay? How is that not fascism? Trying to control, okay, the speech of others. Like trying to punish people who don't align with you. Right? Destroy dissent. Yeah. The insanity in that.
Your First Amendment right to free speech and the First Amendment right to freedom of the press does not give you the right to interfere with another person's First Amendment right to freely exercise their religion. The First Amendment is intended to protect us from government interference. It's not intended to protect others from interfering with other people's exercise of their constitutional rights. To put it very simply, when Don Lemon and others stormed into a church in Minneapolis, disrupting worship, confronting congregants, and confronting pastors under the guise of protesting ICE, they were breaking federal law. You cannot break into my house with a camera in the name of protest or under the guise of journalism and expect the government to protect you. That is why Don Lemon was indicted by a federal grand jury and formally charged with conspiracy to deprive rights and violations of the FACE Act, as well as interfering by force with someone's First Amendment rights, according to the Department of Homeland Security. Again, the First Amendment is to ensure that the government does not interfere with our rights and our freedoms. It does not protect other people who choose to interfere with our rights and our freedoms. I hope this helped.
What happened with no kings? You hate Trump and you like dictators, right? Right here is a group of pro-Maduro demonstrators. They're calling for the Venezuelan dictator's release. Why do you think Maduro should be freed, ma'am?
Because he's for the Venezuelan people. He's trying to free them from the help of the oil companies.
You can hear them here saying, "Viva Maduro." Why have you come here today? Why?
We ain't doing interviews.
What actually happened inside court? Well, Nicolas Maduro said he still considers himself to be the president of Venezuela. He says he's innocent, and his legal team, they may try and argue that because he's the leader of a sovereign state, he should be protected from prosecution. We will see what happens. They've now left court. As they were leaving, it was quite poignant. Nicolas Maduro turned around and waved at people in the public gallery, and one man from Venezuela stood up and said, "On behalf of my country, you will pay." And Maduro said that he instead will be free.
This is a thing where, you know what, if you are critical, right? Because I am critical of American foreign policy. I think we should not care so much about what's happening outside our borders, right? We should focus on what's happening inside, right? America first. But I would not be so ignorant to say what I believe about another country, because I don't know. Like that white old lady, like she don't know nothing about Venezuela, and yet she's here. She thinks she knows what she's talking about, right? To me, I wouldn't care if this guy's released or not. I would be if I was protesting, which is I think I would never do that, or I wouldn't do it. Is that I would say that America first, focus on America, right? Stop caring about what's happening outside our borders. I'm sorry, right now, but I'm not a leader. Maybe there's whatever reasons. That is what it is, right? But I'm just flabbergasted on how stupid the left is. Okay, you don't know anything, right? You don't know anything, yet you talk like you do. Okay, you talk about subjects you don't know about. You talk about subjects you don't know about. You think Maduro is a great thing, a dictator, right? Glancery, whether it's true or not, Glancery, searches, you can hear that he rigged the election, right? They had an election, he said no. So he's pretty much a dictator. Now, that is not, I believe that, Venezuela should have done it themselves, right? They should have handled it themselves, uprising. But that's besides the point. I'm just like, the left needs to stop talking about things they don't know. They really do, because they just make themselves sound so stupid. And this is why I can never understand anyone that wants to be part of the left, that wants to be part of the Democratic Party, because they're filled with idiots, right? And I'm not saying that the Republican Party doesn't have any, but the good thing about the Republican Party or the right is that they're not all over social media like that. At least not in my party, right? Maybe on yours, but they're not saying a whole lot of stupid shit continuously on social media, right? Looking bad.
Would you trade Trump for Maduro?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think Trump, I think Maduro was democratically elected. Probably, yeah. Sure. More than likely, yes, of course.
If there's a Nicolas Maduro out here who's going to bring us to revolution, I will support that movement.
driver in charge than a billionaire, okay? Let's put it.
This is how ignorant many people on the left are in this country. It's unbelievable. You see how they're out in the street protesting, walking with their little signs and all that cute stuff? You see that? Let's see how that's been handled under Maduro. This is what the people of Venezuela were dealing with under Maduro. Under Maduro, in 2018 at its peak, prices doubled every few weeks. Over 1,000,000% inflation in a year. You know how we talk about the Great Depression? Under Maduro's leadership, it was the Great Depression, essentially on steroids. During the Great Depression, the U.S. lost about 30% of its economy. You know, think like the breadlines, Dust Bowl misery, all that. Venezuela lost 75 to 80% of its total economy from 2013 to around 2023. That's like erasing 3 out of every $4 in the country. Gone. Your paycheck would only buy 25% of what it would have bought you a decade ago. This is under Maduro's leadership. Price controls made it unprofitable for companies to produce or import goods. Hyperinflation, that 1,000,000% I was talking about, wiped out people's purchasing power. And corruption, along with mismanagement, crippled supply chains. So the shelves in grocery stores were empty. People were rummaging through scraps and eating stray animals to try and survive. When I say scraps, I mean trash. And you have people in the United States talking about, yeah, they'd rather have him than Donald Trump.
The absolute insanity. To complain that Trump is a dictator, yet you want to replace Trump with an actual dictator. This is why I can't stand the left. Right? It's okay to be critical of our government, okay? To have critiques and opinion, because to be honest, I'm not really crazy about our foreign policies. I don't think we should care about anything that's happening outside our borders until we as Americans are doing better, right? Focus on America first, and then we can think about outside our borders. I don't care about Palestine. I don't care about Ukraine. We shouldn't give a shit, right? The money that we send outside, the care, whatever outside, it should be inside, right? But to say shit that you don't really understand or know or can't form an actually logical opinion on, don't make it. I try my best to not form opinions on things I really don't understand or know that well. Right? The Venezuela thing, I can see on the glance or anything. I don't really agree with it, but I'm not that critical of it because I don't understand enough. Right? One, is it hurting our country? Probably not. So for me, I'm not really thinking about it. But okay, if you have opinions and critiques about it, okay. But if you have stupid ones, you're hurting your cause. You're hurting your cause. You're hurting the whole point. You're hurting your party because you just look and sound stupid. That is it. This is the insanity. Okay, it's to say that you know what, Trump is a dictator, but I'd rather this dictator be our dictator. It's like oh, I hate Trump so much. You know what? I want the mustache guy. Right? Seriously, I'm just like, this is why everyone always perceives that the left is supposed to be the more educated side, yet they seem to be the more stupid ones. So if you were on the left, you should want to not have these people be your representation.
Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Okay, in that case, bread doesn't make sandwiches, people make sandwiches. Cars don't drive people to work, people drive people to work.
Can you say that again? Just the way you say.
This is the problem why people, if they do leave the Democratic Party, it's because of shit like this. It's like it's like the left is they're prescribed as honestly the most educated, the people who have the most degrees, yet this is the people that's on that side. I'm sorry, let's say if you, the stupid people, let's say if there's stupid people, which there are, on the right, you could blame it on lack of education. But the left tout their high level of education, and yet they're still stupid people.